Okay, we got the sound on this time. Amazing. This is a heavy topic. I'm fine. Hopefully, you're fine. If you're not fine, please call someone and get the help you need. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. That's an easy number to remember. You can text them or call them, I'm pretty sure. Call 988 if you need to. This subject is near and dear to my heart, and I want to end the suicide problem in the world. I want everyone to help end the suicide problem in the world. I also really want world peace, but I think we need to inspire people to want world peace better. And to me, the suicide rate is a huge inspiration that we need to really, 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 really improve people's lives around the world. And I have a little essay on that at the end. I have a little thing I'll read to you in the middle. If you are struggling, I'll read the whole thing. But first, we're going to go over a list of professions with the highest suicide rates. It's a long list. It's 40. It's going to take us a while to get through it, about 30 minutes or so. All right, here we go. Here is a list of the professions with the highest suicide rates, ranked with the highest rate in the number one position. Please note that these rankings can vary depending on the source and the specific data used, but the following are commonly cited professions with higher suicide rates. 1. Physicians, doctors. Often due to the high levels of stress, burnout, and access to lethal means, the suicide rate among physicians is significantly higher than in many other professions. Both male and female physicians have higher rates than the general population. 2. Veterans. Veterans experience high levels of stress, emotional burden from euthanizing animals, and easy access to drugs, contributing to their high suicide rates. That is incredibly sad. All of this is incredibly sad. Let's continue. 3. Dentists. Dentists can face stress from running a practice, patient anxiety, and isolation, leading to elevated suicide rates compared to other healthcare professions. 4. Construction workers. The construction industry has a high suicide rate due to physical demands, financial instability, and high risk factors like substance abuse. 5. Farmers, fishers, and forestry workers. These workers often deal with isolation, financial pressures, and the physical demands of their jobs, leading to a high suicide rate. 6. Police officers. Law enforcement officers experience high levels of stress, trauma, and exposure to violence, contributing to their elevated suicide risk. 7. Firefighters. Firefighters are exposed to high-stress situations, trauma, and life-threatening environments, which contribute to their higher suicide rates. 8. Emergency medical technicians, EMTs, and paramedics. The pressure, trauma, and irregular hours in emergency medical services can lead to higher suicide rates. 9. Military personnel and veterans. Active duty military personnel and veterans face unique stressors, including combat exposure, PTSD, and difficulty transitioning to civilian life, leading to elevated suicide risks. 10. Financial services workers, bankers, stockbrokers, and accountants. High stress pressure to meet financial goals and economic downturns contribute to increased suicide rates in this profession. 11. Lawyers. Lawyers experience high stress, long working hours, and significant pressure to succeed, all of which contribute to their higher suicide rates. 12. Artists, entertainers, and writers. Creative professionals often face isolation, irregular income, and high levels of pressure, leading to elevated suicide risks. 13. Healthcare workers, nurses, nursing assistants, and social workers. High emotional demands, stress, and exposure to suffering contribute to higher suicide rates among healthcare professionals. 14. Sales workers. Sales professionals face high pressure to meet targets, job insecurity, and the stress of a highly competitive environment. Wow. 5. Engineers. 15. I said 14 sales workers. 15 engineers. Engineers may face stress from complex projects, long working hours, and a lack of work-life balance, leading to higher suicide risks. These professions are listed based on trends observed in studies, and it's important to recognize that individual risk factors such as mental health conditions, personal circumstances, and support systems also play critical roles in suicide risk. Addressing mental health stigma, providing access to resources, and promoting work-life balance are essential steps in reducing suicide rates in these professions. Please continue. Certainly. Here are additional professions that are known to have elevated suicide rates continuing from the previous list. 16. Truck drivers. Long hours, isolation, irregular sleep patterns, and the stress of meeting tight deadlines contribute to higher suicide rates among truck drivers. The lifestyle can also lead to substance abuse, further increasing risk. 17. Real estate agents. The volatile nature of the real estate market, financial instability, and the pressure to close sales can lead to high stress levels and contribute to suicide risk. Wow. Real estate agents. I guess they're salesmen, and salesmen are on the list. 18. Pharmacists. Pharmacists, similar to other healthcare professionals, face significant stress, high responsibility, and access to drugs, all of which can contribute to higher suicide rates. 19. Cleaning and janitorial staff. Often low-wage, isolated work with limited job security. Cleaning and janitorial staff may experience significant stress, financial insecurity, and feelings of undervaluation, contributing to elevated suicide risks. Public transit workers, bus drivers, train conductors. Public transit workers face high stress, irregular hours, exposure to difficult passengers, and potential traumatic events, contributing to their higher suicide rates. 21. Telecommunications workers, customer service representatives, call center agents. These workers often deal with high-pressure environments, demanding performance metrics, and challenging customer interactions, leading to elevated levels of stress and a higher risk of suicide. Teachers and educators. While often overlooked, teachers and educators experience significant stress, emotional demands, and sometimes a lack of support or resources, which can contribute to burnout and higher suicide rates, particularly in countries with less support for educators. 23. Journalists. Journalists may face high stress, exposure to traumatic events, job insecurity, and the pressures of tight deadlines. The increasingly hostile environment towards media professionals can also contribute to higher suicide risks. 24. Hospitality workers, chefs, servers, bartenders. The hospitality industry involves long, irregular hours, high-pressure environments, and often low pay. Workers in this field also have higher rates of substance abuse, which can increase suicide risk. 25. Architects. Architects often face the stress of managing large projects, meeting client demands, and working long hours, which can contribute to mental health issues and a higher risk of suicide. 26. Corrections officers. Corrections officers work in highly stressful, dangerous environments, often dealing with violence, trauma, and isolation, leading to higher suicide rates. 27. Librarians and archivists. Although less commonly associated with high suicide rates, librarians and archivists can experience job-related stress, isolation, and limited job security, contributing to mental health challenges. 28. Scientists and researchers. Scientists and researchers may face significant stress due to grant funding pressures, long working hours, and the competitive nature of academia, leading to higher risks of suicide. 29. IT and tech workers, software developers, network engineers, etc. High pressure to meet deadlines, long hours, and the rapid pace of technological change can contribute to stress, burnout, and elevated suicide rates among IT and tech professionals. Around 40 or 30? Looks like 30. Yeah, 30. I think it stops at 40. Retail workers. Retail workers often face low pay, job insecurity, long hours, and difficult customer interactions, which can contribute to higher levels of stress and an increased risk of suicide. 31. Pilots and aviation workers. Pilots and aviation workers are subject to irregular schedules, high levels of responsibility, and sometimes isolation, all of which can contribute to higher suicide rates. 32. Miners and oil and gas extraction workers. These workers often face dangerous working conditions, long periods away from home, and the physical and mental toll of labor-intensive work, leading to higher risks of suicide. Funeral directors and morticians. Constant exposure to death and grief, as well as the demands of running a funeral business, can contribute to a higher suicide rate among funeral directors. Can contribute to higher suicide rates among funeral directors and morticians. 34. Administrative and clerical workers. Though often seen as less stressful, administrative and clerical jobs can involve repetitive tasks, lack of career advancement, and workplace isolation, contributing to mental health issues and suicide risk. 35. Actors and performers. The entertainment industry is highly competitive and can involve significant stress, job insecurity, and public scrutiny, which may contribute to higher suicide rates among actors and performers. 36. Flight attendants face irregular hours, long periods away from home, high stress, and sometimes difficult passengers, all of which can contribute to mental health issues and a higher risk of suicide. 37. Electricians. Electricians often work in physically demanding and dangerous environments. The combination of job stress, physical strain, and the pressures of meeting deadlines can contribute to an elevated risk of suicide. 38. Plumbers and pipe lifters. Similar to electricians, plumbers and pipe lifters work in physically demanding and often hazardous conditions, which can lead to stress, injury, and a higher risk of suicide. 39. Agricultural workers. Agricultural workers, including those involved in farming and ranching, often face physical labor, financial instability, and isolation, all of which can contribute to mental health challenges and suicide risk. 40. Military contractors. Military contractors and private security workers. Workers in these fields often face dangerous conditions, high stress, and the psychological impact of working in conflict zones or high-risk environments. Each of these professions has unique stressors and challenges that can contribute to higher suicide rates. It is crucial to promote mental health awareness by providing access to mental health resources and foster supportive work environments to reduce the stress of suicide across all professions. Now, what would you say to people considering suicide, like the hotline number? And definitely don't. If you are considering suicide, please stop and know this. You are not alone, and there is hope, even when it feels like there isn't. Please don't make a permanent decision based on a temporary feeling. The world is better with you in it, even if you can't see it right now. Pain can be overwhelming, but there is help available right now. If you're in the United States, call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. They are there for you 24/7. With people who care and want to listen, they'll help you navigate this moment because, trust me, you are stronger than you think. And remember, whatever you are facing, it can and will get better. You just need to reach out for help. Don't do it. Never, ever, ever. Your life is precious. There is no one else like you. The pain, the struggle, they don't have to end this way. They can change, they can evolve, and you can heal. But you have to be here to see it. Right now, just breathe. Take one small step. Call 988 to talk to someone you trust, or talk to someone you trust. Or just hold on a little longer. Hold on forevermore, really. Your future self will thank you for it. The world needs you. Never, never, never give up. Again, the number is 988. Call it, text it, do whatever it takes to stay here. You matter. Okay. So now, how do we deal with this problem in others? How do we encourage everyone to stay alive and everyone to live happier lives? That is the question. Can we improve everyone's lives to reduce the suicide rate drastically as fast as humanly possible? I hope we do. The ambition to form a group of groups or a coalition that unites various organizations and communities under a master framework for collective action is not only timely but essential in tackling global issues like suicide prevention, job improvement, and the radical overhaul of the world economy. This endeavor requires a structured approach where technology, government, and grassroots movements collaborate seamlessly. 1. Establish a master framework. Central coordination body. This could be an international entity or a coalition of governments supported by AI to oversee and coordinate the efforts of various groups. This body would serve as a hub for communication, resource allocation, and strategic planning. AI integration. Utilize AI to analyze data, identify trends, and predict outcomes, allowing for more informed decision-making. AI can help manage large-scale operations, track progress, and ensure that all groups within the master framework are aligned with common goals. Government involvement. Governments should play a facilitating role in providing resources, legislative support, and platforms for these groups to collaborate. They could establish policies that encourage participation and ensure that marginalized and oppressed communities are included in decision-making processes. 2. Forming and uniting groups. Identify key areas. Start by categorizing the various issues and professions that need attention, such as mental health, economic reform, education, healthcare, and social justice. Each area would have its own groups focusing on specific aspects but remain interconnected through the central coordination body. Create specialized task forces for each category. Form specialized task forces consisting of experts, volunteers, and representatives from affected communities. These task forces would work on creating actionable plans to address issues within their area of focus. Engage civil society, encourage NGOs, non-governmental organizations, community organizations, and grassroots movements to join these groups. Ensure that there's a diverse representation of voices and ideas. This inclusivity ensures that solutions are holistic and consider the needs of all societal segments. 3. Volunteering and public participation. Volunteer system. Develop a robust volunteer system that encourages people to contribute their time and skills to various groups. The system could be accessible, easy to navigate, and offer incentives for participation. It's not just about what you can do for your country, but how you can contribute to the collective well being of humanity. Educational campaigns. Launch educational campaigns to raise awareness about the importance of suicide prevention, economic reform, and social justice. Use various media, including social media, to reach a broad audience and encourage participation. 4. Improving job professions and life experiences. Job improvement initiatives. Each professional field would have a dedicated group working on improving working conditions, wages, mental health support, and job satisfaction. This could include partnerships with unions, industry leaders, and policymakers to implement changes. Mental health integration. Mental health support should be integrated into every industry. Mental health support should be integrated into every industry. This means providing resources, training, and support systems for employees at all levels to prevent burnout, depression, and suicide. That is key. 5. Radical economic overhaul. Global economic reform. This would involve rethinking the current economic systems to ensure that they are equitable, sustainable, and inclusive. A task force on economic reform would explore alternatives to capitalism that prioritize human well-being over profit. Universal basic income. Consider implementing UBI or other social safety nets to ensure everyone has access to basic needs, reducing the economic pressures that contribute to mental health issues. Redistribution of wealth. Work towards policies that ensure a fairer distribution of wealth, addressing the vast inequalities that currently exist. This could include progressive taxation, wealth caps, and stronger social welfare programs. 6. Collaboration. International partnerships foster collaboration between countries, ensuring that efforts are global, not limited by borders. This might involve international treaties, cooperative agreements, and shared resources. Technology and AI as a unifying force. Technology, particularly AI, can act as a unifying force. By providing the tools needed to manage a large-scale effort, it can help break down silos, facilitate communication, and ensure that all groups are working towards a common goal. 7. Ongoing evaluation and adaptation. Monitoring and feedback. Regularly assess the progress of these groups using AI to analyze data, provide feedback. This allows for continuous improvement and ensures that the strategies employed are effective and responsive to changing circumstances. Adaptive strategy. Be willing to adapt strategies as needed, understanding that the challenges faced are dynamic and may require new approaches over time. Conclusion. Creating a group of groups to address such wide-ranging issues requires a comprehensive, inclusive, and collaborative approach. Governments, AI, and real people must work together with a shared vision of a better, more equitable world. It's about building a new foundation where everyone's life can improve and no one is left behind. Together, we can drastically reduce suicide rates, improve job satisfaction, and transform the global economy into one that truly serves all of humanity. I really think Dr. Jill Stein is the best way to get this done. We need to vote for her, and if she doesn't win, we need to encourage everyone to adopt her policies. We need to grow the Green Party. Humanity is counting on humanity to improve humanity for all of humanity. So let's do that. Let's do that instead. Join me and subscribe. Thank you for watching through to the end, and I hope you choose to become a peace activist. Yes, you. I hope you identify yourself as a peace activist from here on out. If you didn't before, I hope now you do. Goodbye, peace activist. Thank you for being a peace activist.